Imagine a man who holds in his hands everything the world dreams of. Skyscrapers gleaming with his name engraved on them, luxury cars lined up endlessly, private jets at his command to fly anywhere on this planet at any time. Jonathan Okcoy, a name that inspires both admiration and fear. A powerful man who, whenever he steps into a boardroom, it feels as if the very walls shift aside to make way for him. His phone is constantly ringing, as if it's about to explode from the calls of the elite, each one desperate for just a moment of his time. A single word from his lips. He was once celebrated by the world with grand titles. The business genius, the untouchable heir. But what the world never saw was this. Each night, inside that lavish mansion of his, there was nothing but a chilling silence. Rooms furnished in luxury, yet no one ever walked through them. A soft, inviting bed, yet peaceful sleep always seemed to elude him. Jonathan Okcoy would simply lie there, staring blankly at the ceiling, questioning himself. Is there anyone in this world who could love me for who I truly am? Or is it all just for the wealth and the spotlight? The answer came to him in heavy, haunting silence. He had dated the most beautiful women, models, lawyers, influencers, yet behind every smile, every flattering word, he could feel the hunger for the riches in his accounts. Even Susan, the woman he once believed to be his soulmate, his true love, betrayed him in the cruelest way. Catching Susan and his CFO entangled in a shameful embrace in the office, Jonathan said nothing. He simply turned and walked away. But inside, something shattered beyond repair. That very night, as the heavy rain lashed against his windows, Jonathan gazed out into the storm, his heart aching with the same burning question that echoed through his soul. If I had nothing at all, who would still choose me? Jonathan Okcoy, a man scarred and broken after the shock of betrayal, made a life-changing decision. To embark on a journey like never before. A quest to find true love, a love that would transcend fame, fortune, and status. Phase 1. Pretending to be a poor laborer. He abandoned his lavish mansion, luxury cars, and designer watches, choosing instead a life of simplicity and solitude. Jonathan moved into a damp, run-down room in a slum neighborhood where the walls were peeling, the mattress reeked of mold, and poverty hung heavy in the air. Each day, he toiled through back-breaking manual labor, pushing carts, washing cars, assisting struggling carpenters. Nora, his loyal assistant, who still held unwavering faith in him, arranged anonymous blind dates through an exclusive dating app. Each woman was told only this: he was once a successful man, but had lost everything due to financial hardships. But the results were painfully disheartening. Tina, a famous influencer, instantly mocked and belittled Jonathan for looking so impoverished. Debbie, a successful lawyer, treated the date like a business investment, firing off cold, calculated questions as if she were reviewing a contract. Sandra, pretending to be sweet and sympathetic, texted him the very next morning asking for money to cover her rent and buy groceries. Jonathan was overwhelmed by despair. He asked himself, is there truly no genuine love left in this world? Phase 2. Raising the stakes. Pretending to be homeless, Nora advised him, if you want to find true love, become someone who has nothing left to lose. Summoning all his courage, Jonathan decided to shed even the modest identity of a struggling laborer and push further, to become a homeless man. He put on tattered clothes, wrapped himself in an old burlap sack, and tucked away a check worth $5 million in his shirt pocket, vowing, I will give this to the first person who shows me kindness without expecting anything in return. But what Jonathan encountered was only scornful glares and fake gestures of pity. The deepest pain came from those who placed food in front of him just to snap photos for their social media, boasting about helping the poor. Until one rain-soaked afternoon, as he shivered under the leaking awning of a humble tailor shop, Ariana appeared. She was simple, her eyes warm with genuine compassion. She didn't treat him like a useless man, but as a human being deserving of care. She shared with him the lunchbox she had brought for herself, draped a dry cloth over his shoulders, and invited him into her little tailor shop to escape the rain. For the very first time on this grueling journey, Jonathan felt a sincere affection and dared to believe true love still exists. From Ariana's gestures of kindness, Jonathan gradually began to melt, feeling, for once, like an ordinary person in this cold, indifferent world. The most surprising thing was, while everyone else only saw his ragged clothes, Ariana saw the warmth of his soul and the kindness in his heart. In the days spent with Ariana, Jonathan transformed simple moments into beautiful memories that money could never buy. He learned how to cut fabric, deliver garments to customers, and sweep the floors of Ariana's little tailor shop, all in exchange for the radiant, warm smile she greeted him with every evening after her classes. Then one day, Ariana said something completely unexpected. She invited Jonathan to pretend to be her boyfriend at her mother's grand birthday celebration. At that moment, Jonathan's heart raced. Ariana wasn't just unashamed of this poor, shabby man. She wanted him by her side as a choice she could be proud of. And so they traveled together to Ariana's hometown. The party was filled with laughter and condescension. Her sister Linda sneered at Jonathan with disdain, while Ariana's ex-boyfriend, Jerry, openly mocked him. Despite the pain, Jonathan remained calm, choosing not to reveal his true identity. Instead, he quietly prepared a surprise gift for Ariana's family, a brand new car and valuable assets. However, Jerry shamelessly claimed credit for it himself. But the climax did not end there. At the housewarming party of one of Ariana's friends, both Jonathan and Ariana were once again humiliated and looked down upon. Yet this time, Ariana did not stay silent. She pushed past her limits, stood firmly in front of Jonathan, and declared loudly for all to hear, "The man who will stand by my side through every storm is the man I respect the most." That deeply moving moment didn't just ignite a fire in Jonathan's heart. It became the blazing spark that would fuel the coming climax, where the truth would be revealed before the astonished eyes of everyone. Dusk had begun to settle as Jonathan and Ariana stepped out of the housewarming party, their hearts heavy after the cruel insults they had endured. They held hands tightly, Ariana's gaze filled with pride, yet shadowed by hesitation and worry. Jonathan remained silent, but deep in his heart, he knew the moment of truth had come. Just then, the roar of engines shattered the suffocating air. 3 sleek black SUVs rolled into the courtyard, their sharp headlights slicing through the darkness. The crowd turned, stunned, as murmurs rippled through them. No one could comprehend what was happening. The first SUV came to a halt, and Nora stepped out, graceful yet resolute. She walked directly to Jonathan, bowed her head slightly, and declared, "Sir, everything is ready." The entire courtyard fell into stunned silence. "Sir?" Someone gasped in disbelief. Jonathan gently released Ariana's hand and stepped forward, facing the astonished crowd. Slowly, he drew a folder from within his worn coat, His deep, steady voice rang out, each word striking straight to the hearts of everyone listening. My name is Jonathan Okcoy, CEO of Okkoy Group and sole heir to the Okkoy Empire. The crowd froze, breathless. All eyes were locked on Jonathan, as if time itself had stopped. Phones lit up instantly, flashes flickering like stars. No one could believe that the humble man they had just mocked was, in truth, a billionaire. Jonathan then turned softly toward Ariana, the woman who had treated him with unconditional kindness. Slowly, he knelt down and opened a deep, crimson velvet box. A brilliant diamond ring sparkled under the lights, and the crowd held their breath in awe. Ariana, Jonathan began, his voice trembling with emotion. You were the only one who saw the real me when I had nothing. You shared your meal, your shelter, and most importantly, your heart. I want to spend the rest of my life thanking God for bringing you to me. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down Ariana's cheeks. Her heart pounded. Her voice shook, but rang with fierce certainty. Yes, Jonathan, I will. The crowd erupted in jubilation. Thunderous applause filled the air, while phones captured every sacred moment. The hashtags #Beggar turned Billionaire and a True Love Wins soared to the top of global social media trends. In that moment, all eyes were on them. Not with ridicule, but with admiration and deep emotion. Gone were the scornful glances and mocking sneers. All that remained was profound respect and heartfelt awe. Jonathan and Ariana, two souls from seemingly separate worlds, had proven to everyone that true love never judges by status or wealth. It sees only the heart and the kindness within. And dear friends, if you too believe that true love still exists, don't hesitate to comment. I believe in true love. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to spread more inspiring stories just like this one. After that earth-shattering proposal, it seemed as though Jonathan and Ariana's story had reached its perfect happy ending. But no, in reality, their true test was only just beginning. News of billionaire Jonathan Okkoy's proposal spread like wildfire across every media outlet. Headlines blazed. Okkoy Group CEO proposes to humble seamstress in front of hundreds. The public was in awe, but inside the grand Okkoy family mansion, the atmosphere was icy cold. Jonathan's parents, returning from an extended business trip, immediately summoned an urgent family meeting. Their faces were tight with tension. His mother, a formidable woman who had always guarded the family's prestigious image, could not conceal her dissatisfaction. A seamstress, a kindergarten teacher? Jonathan, you are the heir to the Okkoy Empire. You cannot throw everything away for a woman of such low status. His father, a man of few words, simply looked at Jonathan with eyes filled with a mix of disappointment and quiet sorrow. But Jonathan lifted his head high, his gaze unwavering. Mother, father, Ariana may not come from nobility, but she possesses something this entire world cannot buy: a genuine heart and a love that expects nothing in return. I choose her. The room seemed to freeze over. His mother bit her lip hard and placed a folder in front of Jonathan. Inside lay the family's final ultimatum. If you insist on marrying her, you will lose everything: the chairman's seat, your shares, your wealth, your power. You will be exiled from the Okkoy family forever. Think carefully. Jonathan looked at the folder, then at his parents. He took a deep breath, and his voice rang out with strength and conviction. If that is the price of true love, then I accept it. I would rather lose everything than lose the woman who showed me the true meaning of life. The determination in his words made even his usually reserved father lower his head slightly in quiet acknowledgement. But far away, Ariana carried a different burden in her heart. She knew that Jonathan wasn't just carrying their love, he was carrying the expectations and legacy of a mighty empire. She feared becoming his burden. And so, one morning, as the soft sunlight filtered through the small window of their modest room, Jonathan awoke to find Ariana gone. On the table, there was only a single note, the delicate handwriting stained with tears. "I love you with all my heart, but I cannot let you lose everything because of me. Live your dream. I will always be watching over you from afar. Ariana." Jonathan froze, his heart shattering into 1,000 pieces. The room suddenly felt emptier than ever before. The woman who had taught him to believe in true love had now left him, loving him so deeply that she chose to walk away. But he knew this was not the end. Dear friends, if your heart is aching too from this painful separation, don't hesitate to comment. Jonathan, don't give up. Join us as we continue the journey to find Ariana in the next chapter. The atmosphere that night was as heavy as the hearts gathered in the grand gala hall. Beneath the shimmering crystal chandeliers, the most powerful faces in the country assembled, all eagerly awaiting a grand announcement. Jonathan Okcoy was expected to announce his engagement to the daughter of the Senate president, marking the beginning of a powerful alliance of wealth and influence. But as Jonathan entered the hall, there was no stiff diplomacy in his posture, no forced smile on his lips. Calm and composed, he raised the microphone to his mouth, his voice steady yet filled with quiet power. "I do not seek a queen of politics. I seek the queen of my heart." The entire hall froze in astonishment. Jonathan declared openly before all, "If no one here can accept the woman who gave me hope when I was lost, who helped me endure and believe in humanity when the world turned its back on me, then I will step down as CEO tonight." His words roared like thunder, capturing every heart in the room. Amidst the dazzling lights, as Jonathan stood alone against the world for love, Ariana, in a small corner of a distant town, held a pregnancy test in trembling hands. 2 bright pink lines appeared on the strip. She was pregnant. Tears welled up in Ariana's eyes as she gently cradled her growing belly and whispered, "My love, no matter where your father is, you will never be alone." While Ariana quietly resolved to raise the child by herself, Jonathan searched for her tirelessly as a man who had placed love above all else. He stood outside Ariana's small tailor shop, the empty space echoing his longing. His hands trembled as he whispered, "Where are you, Ariana?" Fate, however, had a plan of its own. During a charity trip, Jonathan's mother unexpectedly encountered Ariana at a small health center. Ariana was there, assisting a struggling pregnant woman, her strength unwavering despite carrying her own child. At that moment, Jonathan's powerful mother realized Ariana was the treasure that no amount of wealth could ever buy. And in that very instant, her hardened heart began to soften. That was the turning point. She made the decision to help Jonathan draw closer to the true love of his life. In the quiet afternoon of the small town, a gentle breeze swept across the worn-out awning of the charity clinic, where Ariana continued her quiet days helping the poor. Though her belly now clearly showed the graceful curves of new life blossoming within her, she remained steadfast, still offering a gentle smile to those in need. No one knew that this humble woman carried the child of one of the most powerful men in the nation. And then destiny revealed its hand. A single phone call from Nora, the ever-loyal assistant, changed everything. "Mr. Jonathan," her voice trembled with emotion. "I've found her." Jonathan didn't hesitate for even a second. His car sped through village roads, racing past familiar turns where Ariana had once led him on quiet walks. His heart pounded against his chest, every beat urging him, "Faster, faster, she's waiting." As the door of the clinic creaked open, their eyes met in a moment that seemed to dissolve the entire world around them. Ariana stood there, her gaze filled with emotion, tears glistening at the corners of her eyes, a bittersweet blend of happiness and lingering sorrow. I didn't want to be a burden to you," she whispered, her voice trembling. Jonathan stepped closer, gently placing his hand over her belly, where their tiny miracle was growing. His voice choked with emotion yet resolute. "You have never been a burden. You are the reason my life has meaning every single day." He pulled Ariana into his embrace, holding her tightly as if fearing to ever let her go again. The love he had been searching for all along, love untouched by status or wealth, was now clearer than ever before. Soon after, Jonathan brought Ariana back to the Okcoy mansion. The atmosphere in the grand hall was no longer tense. His mother, once the harshest critic, stepped forward with tears glimmering in her eyes. She spoke softly, her head bowed toward Ariana. "I'm sorry, my dear. I was wrong. Thank you for loving my son, even when I could not yet understand your worth." Jonathan's father nodded, his gaze warmer than ever before. "This family owes you a debt of gratitude," he said, "for you have given Jonathan something our entire lineage has never known, a true home." But the surprises weren't over yet. As Ariana sat in the living room, her phone rang. It was her mother, but this time she wasn't alone. Familiar voices echoed through the line. Her mother, her sister Linda, her aunts and uncles, even the relatives who had once mocked her. "We're sorry," they said, their voices thick with emotion. "We were wrong to judge you and Jonathan. You have taught us a great lesson about love and sincerity." Tears welled in Ariana's eyes as she looked at Jonathan, who was holding her hand tightly, smiling warmly. "Thank you, everyone," she replied, her voice soft but steady. "I never held resentment toward anyone. What matters is that now we are a family." Shortly after, Jonathan held a grand press conference. But this time, it wasn't to announce a business deal or corporate triumph. It was to let the entire world know that the woman who had forever changed his life was none other than Ariana Williams. Camera flashes lit up the room like fireworks as Jonathan took Ariana's hand, his voice ringing out with pride. "She is the woman I love, the mother of my child, the heart of my life, and I am proud to call her my fiancée." The hall erupted in applause, while Jonathan and Ariana, at that very moment, knew they had conquered it all. They were no longer the lonely billionaire and the humble seamstress. They were a family, they were love, and they were the living proof that true love can triumph over any obstacle in this world. The wedding day of Jonathan and Ariana was not just a ceremony. It was a living testament to the power of true love. The entire city buzzed with anticipation for this extraordinary event. From the towering skyscrapers of the financial district to the humble villages where Ariana had once lived, everyone eagerly awaited this historic moment. It wasn't just about a billionaire getting married, it was a real-life fairy tale. The scene at the Okcoy mansion was more magnificent than ever before. Pure white flowers lined the grand hall, golden chairs stood neatly along the aisle, and white doves awaited the moment they would soar into the sky, carrying blessings for the couple. Heads of state, renowned CEOs, and even the ordinary townspeople Ariana had once helped all gathered for the occasion. But amidst the sea of people, Jonathan's eyes searched for only one person. And then the moment arrived. Ariana appeared, graceful as a spring breeze. She wore a pure white wedding gown, simple yet elegant, her hair softly curled and flowing naturally, holding a bouquet of white lilies, the flower of purity and sincerity. All eyes were captivated by her beauty. Not the beauty of luxury, but the beauty of a courageous heart, of a woman who had dared to love a man she thought had nothing to offer. Jonathan's breath caught as Ariana walked toward him. As she approached, he whispered with deep emotion, "You are more beautiful than my wildest dreams." The ceremony began. Bathed in radiant light, the officiant smiled at the couple and gently spoke. "Today, we witness not only the union of two people, but the merging of two souls that have overcome every trial." Jonathan took Ariana's hands, his gaze never leaving her as he recited his vows, his voice trembling slightly, yet filled with certainty. "Ariana Williams, when you first met me, you thought I had nothing, no name, no fortune, but you saw the real me. You fed me when I was hungry, sheltered me when I had nowhere to go, and gave me hope when I had lost faith in the world. Today, I stand here not as the CEO of Okcoy Group, but as a man who vows to spend the rest of his life loving and protecting you. I promise to stand by your side through every storm, in wealth or in poverty, in sickness or in health. You are my family, my home, and the reason I live each day to the fullest." Tears glistened in Ariana's eyes as she held Jonathan's hands tightly and responded, her voice choked with emotion. "Jonathan Okcoy, you came into my life as a homeless man with weary eyes, yet a heart full of truth. I didn't know who you were, but I knew your heart was more beautiful than any luxury this world could offer. You made me feel cherished, loved for who I truly am. Whether you are a billionaire or an ordinary man, you will always be the most wonderful man in my eyes. I vow to walk with you through calm and storm alike. You are my home, the father of our child, and the greatest love I will ever know." There was not a dry eye in the room. The officiant smiled warmly and said, "With all the love, sincerity, and sacred vows spoken here today, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Jonathan, you may kiss your bride." Jonathan gently lifted Ariana's face and placed a sweet, lingering kiss on her lips. The doves took flight into the sky. Fireworks burst brilliantly above, and thunderous applause filled the air. Linda, Ariana's sister, rushed forward, embracing her tightly as she wept and laughed. "You did it, Ariana. You deserve all the beauty this world has to offer." Jonathan's mother stepped forward too, clasping the hands of both Jonathan and Ariana, her eyes shining with happiness. "Thank you both for teaching our family what true love really means." The wedding reception unfolded in a joyous atmosphere, filled with laughter and celebration. No one cared about status or titles anymore. All they saw were two people deeply in love who had overcome every obstacle to be together. During the final dance, under the soft golden lights, Jonathan whispered into Ariana's ear, "You are no longer just a seamstress. You are the queen of my life, and you are the living proof that true love always wins." The story concluded with the image of the two of them dancing beneath the starry night sky, surrounded by cheers and dazzling lights. A perfect ending, a legendary love story, a tale to be remembered forever. The story of Jonathan Okcoy is not just a modern fairy tale. It is a powerful reminder that the true value of a person is not found in status, wealth, or fame. It lies in the heart, sincerity, and how they treat others when they have nothing to give. Jonathan had the courage to give up everything, money, power, status, to seek what the whole world desires, a love that is pure, untouched by greed or superficiality. Ariana proved to us all that unconditional kindness is never meaningless. True love holds the power to overcome every societal barrier, every sneer, and even the deepest sacrifice. This story teaches us that in our everyday lives, never judge others by their appearance or their possessions. Be kind and compassionate, even when no one is watching. And above all, always believe that true love and genuine kindness still exist. You just need to be brave and sincere enough to see them. The inspiring message from this story: not everyone who has everything is truly happy, and not everyone who has lost it all is doomed to be unhappy. When you dare to live authentically, to love unconditionally, and to give kindness without expecting a return, you will receive the most extraordinary miracles in life. Billionaire Dad is the living proof that true love and genuine kindness can overcome any barrier. My personal reflection: I truly believe that in this modern world filled with competition and pretense, the story of Jonathan and Ariana is that small but powerful light, reminding us behind the tattered clothes could be a great heart. Behind wounded eyes could be someone ready to give you their purest love. If you're looking for something deeper than the material race, pause for a moment, look around, and open your heart to the simplest yet truest things. Because happiness is not a destination, it is the journey you choose to take and with whom you choose to walk it. If this story touched your heart, if you too believe in true love and the power of kindness, don't hesitate. Like this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And most importantly, subscribe to Toch Story so you never miss another heartwarming tale. Stories that will make you laugh, cry, and above all, believe in the goodness of life.